March Madness is underway as the NCAA tournament begins.
BYU women's team prepares for their showdown with Auburn.
Here comes Jimmer. Long range.
Jimmer's coming back to the States to finish out the NBA season with the Phoenix Suns. I'm Lindsay Peterson.
And I'm Michaela Hewardine, and it's time for Sportsline. It's the first full day of March Madness yesterday. How was it? How are your brackets doing, Lindsay?
Okay, my brackets, they're pretty much destroyed, but I'm still having fun watching all the games. Hopefully I can not come last place in all of my challenges, but it's fun. So March Madness is underway with many of the games taking place here in Salt Lake City, and the first full day of the tournament did not disappoint. That was Murray State's John Morant as he led his 12th seeded team to the upset over Marquette with a historic triple-double. The West region also included the number 1 seed Gonzaga beating down on Fairleigh Dickinson in Salt Lake City and the number 10 seeded Florida upsetting Nevada.
For the win! Off the mark! The Terps survive!
On the other side of the bracket, Minnesota upset Louisville while Maryland barely sneaked past Belmont. Number 2 seed Michigan State with back and forth with Bradley until they finally pulled out the win by 11. The number 1 seed overall in the Big Dance, Duke, will take on North Dakota State tonight.
And now it's time for Cougar Chatter. Kelsey, what's the social media buzz on March Madness?
Yesterday was madness. Here is your 1-minute social media must-knows. So we start with Auburn fans celebrating and recovering after the last minute of yesterday's game. And we have the thing of children's nightmares with Tom Izzo yelling at players. Washington Attorney General tells Jimmy Kimmel that under penalty of perjury that Gonzaga is actually real. And here we have the Wofford Star scoring 505 plus 3-pointers. Fletcher McGee really is on a roll. And we have LSU's Emmett Williams causing a huge mess by jumping onto press row during the game. And Florida State's Phil Coffer, moments after his win, finds out that his father passed away. Murray State's Ja Morant joins an impressive line of triple-doubles, and look at this amazing picture from last night's game. And finally, Purdue is celebrating with giving free recess to all students on campus. So round 1 games finish up today. May the odds be ever in your bracket.
March is one of the most exciting times of the year for college basketball, and the madness has finally arrived. Lindsay Carroll is live in Provo tracking the journey of the men's NCAA tournament. Lindsay?
With the battle for the NCAA championships tipping off across the nation yesterday, fans all around Utah are getting into the excitement.
And the excitement really began on Sunday as teams learned their rankings and who they would be facing in the first round. For some fans in Utah, they'll have the chance to watch their 8th-seeded Utah State University team take on the 9th-seeded Washington today as the Aggies try to earn their first victory in tournament play in 18 years. But for other fans in Utah, they'll have to find a new team to cheer for in the postseason because both the University of Utah and BYU didn't even receive invitations to play in the NIT tournament.
It's always one of those tournaments that's kind of like, oh, well, I guess we'll settle for that. But the fact that they didn't even make that was pretty disappointing.
This is the first time since Dave Rose's BYU career started in 2005 that the Cougars haven't made it to postseason play, and it's also his first year at BYU not hitting 20 wins. And while the journey for BYU is over for the season, the excitement lives on as fans analyze the odds and fill out their brackets.
I look at the teams that I do like, realistically look to how they might do, but then after that, I just go for mascots.
The odds of picking a perfect NCAA tournament bracket are estimated to be about 1 in 9.2 quintillion. And the first day of round 1 probably didn't ruin too many brackets, with most of the higher-seeded teams winning and moving on. Two lower-seeded teams managed to steal a win. 10th-seeded Florida overtook 7th-seeded Nevada, and number 12 Murray State stormed through number 5 Marquette to win by almost 20 points. So what team will come out victorious?
I would put Duke winning it.
Probably put my money on Gonzaga.
Let's hope you picked right.
The final games of round 1 are finishing up today, and round 2 begins tomorrow. When the Final Four and championship come in April, we'll know just exactly how your brackets withheld through the tournament. Reporting live at the Marriott Center for Sportsline, I'm Lindsay Carroll.
Thanks, Lindsay.
The BYU men's basketball team season is over after not receiving an invite to the NCAA tournament or the NIT. This marks the first time since 2005 the Cougars haven't made it to one of those two tournaments, and the first time in the Dave Rose era. Cougars have also announced that they are transferring from the program guards Jashir Hardnett and Rylan Bergeson. Bergeson has played in 50 games in 2 seasons with the Cougars, while Hardnett has played in 55 games in his 2 seasons with the team.
The women's basketball team has had one of their best seasons in the past few years, leading them to an appearance in the NCAA tournament. Sportsline reporter Caleb Lemming joins us to tell us more about the team as they prepare for the tournament. Caleb, how did the team end up in here?
The Cougars have had an exciting past couple of weeks, winning their conference tournament and earning a bid to the Big Dance.
BYU women's basketball is headed back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since the 2015-16 season. The Cougars earned an automatic bid to the tournament after defeating the top-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs in the West Coast Conference tournament.
Nobody picked us to do what we've done this year. We have a really young team, but I think they just proved that if you stick to it, believe it, work hard, the things will work out for you.
BYU earned a 7th seed in the tournament and will play the 10th-seeded Auburn Tigers in their first-round matchup on Saturday.
You never take the NCAA tournament for granted, that it's a wonderful opportunity for a team, also for the university, to be able to get invited to this NCAA dance. And it's exciting because it's open. Anybody can come out anywhere.
The Cougars got here by finishing the season 25-6, being nationally ranked, and defeating a top 15 ranked Gonzaga team 3 different times this year. BYU is led by guards Brenna Chase, Paisley Johnson, and Shaylee Gonzalez. However, the Cougars have seen multiple lineup changes and girls who see regular minutes to contribute to the team in various roles.
And I know what I need to bring to this team. Like, it may not be scoring 20 points a game, but like rebounding and defending my butt off and just helping the other girls out.
Head coach Jeff Judkins says he will prepare for the game by simply playing their own game and being positive and confident.
Play your game, no matter how difficult it is sometimes. Do the things that you do best. Stay positive, stay confident.
The Cougars will look to continue their current 8-game win streak as they begin to go dancing this Saturday.
The team's first game in the tournament will be this Saturday against Auburn. If they win, they'll play Monday against the winner of Stanford and UC Davis. You can watch the game live on ESPN2, or you can listen to it on BYU Radio. Back to you guys.
Jimmer Fredette has agreed to a 2-year contract with the Phoenix Suns. Fredette last played in the NBA during the 2015-2016 season with the Knicks, but only appeared in 2 games. Jimmer's contract with the Suns have him in Phoenix for the rest of this season with a team option for next season. Jimmer's been playing with China's Shanghai Sharks since 2016 with an averaging 36 points per game last season.
BYU fans may be in for a treat next week as the Jazz will host the Phoenix Suns on Monday night. Utah will finally return home from its East Coast road trip to take on Phoenix, who may or may not be without Jimmer. Along with Monday's game, the Jazz will also play the Suns in Phoenix the first week of April.
Baseball legend Ichiro Suzuki hung up his glove this week. Find out why his last game was so special.
BYU's Jaron Hall showed up big this week in BYU baseball. See the big play he made in the game.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at savethefood.com.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Longtime Seattle Mariner Ichiro Suzuki announced his retirement from professional baseball this week. Ichiro, who played 19 seasons of professional baseball in the United States, was the first Japanese position player in the MLB history when he made his American debut in 2001.
All-star first baseman Paul Goldschmidt is finalizing a 5-year extension deal for a reported $130 million with the St. Louis Cardinals. Goldie's contract was set to expire at the end of the year, but the new deal will see him stay in Missouri till 2024. The 6-time All-Star had a .290 batting average with 33 home runs and 83 RBIs last season.
Two-time American League MVP Mike Trout has agreed to a new 12-year deal with the LA Angels for a reported $430 million. Trout was set to be a free agent after the 2020 season, with other teams and players around the league trying to court him. But it was not enough, as Trout signed the most expensive contract in the history of North American team sports, earning him approximately $35 million a year.
The Batcats continue their success. Find out how the week went for the team.
Davide Gardini continues to tear it up on the court. We'll tell you more about his journey to BYU.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it. Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Jaron Hall and the BYU baseball team had a big win over crosstown rival UVU this week. Hall, who also plays quarterback for the football team, hit the single in the top of the 10th to drive in the game-winning run for the Cougars in the 14-13 win.
BYU softball had a tough run at the Tennessee Invitational. BYU suffered 4 straight losses against number 6 Tennessee and number 11 Texas. After a week off from the Invitational, BYU will play in its first in-state game of the season at UVU in the UCCU Crosstown Clash on March 26th.
From uniforms, hats, gear, and shoes, BYU athletes are known for dressing in all Nike all the time. And now the university has a new contract with the athletic company. Sportsline reporter Ben Winters is live in Provo. Ben, what does the new contract entail?
Well, Michaela, the partnership goes all the way back to the 70s with Lavelle Edwards. Bottom line, the Cougars were given an offer they couldn't refuse.
Nike is synonymous with greatness.
BYU Athletics and Nike have agreed to extend their contract 7 years through 2025-26. This will include footwear, apparel, and equipment.
They want to represent Nike, they play good in Nike, and so I absolutely think it gives them a little bit more of an edge when they know they're going to get good gear and they can play at a high level, and they love the way they look, and they're ready to go out and compete against any team in the country.
They definitely feel a strong connection to the group, to the logo, you know, and all the great things it represents.
The relationship between BYU and Nike dates back to 1970. Lavelle Edwards, former BYU coach, was one of the pioneers. He was one of the first coaches to go with the Nike brand when it came on the college football scene. Thanks to Lavelle, Bill Keller, and Phil Knight who made this happen and helped BYU get to where they're at today.
We were one of the first teams to come along in the college ranks and wear the Nike uniform in 1996. And then in 2009, we became a full Nike school. And it's just been a great partnership for a long, long time.
The Cougars are proud of having such a strong partnership with the #1 footwear and apparel brand in the world. The new agreement more than doubles the annual value of the previous agreement.
I feel like it's really important in this time and day to be loyal. And we feel like we're super loyal to Nike, and they've been very loyal to BYU.
As the relationship between BYU and Nike continues to grow, so does the greatness of the athletic programs for the Cougars.
Like Deputy Athletic Director Brian Santiago said, Nike is synonymous with greatness. The Nike brand continues to grow and influence everyone around the world. I'm Ben Winters, reporting live here in Provo. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ben.
BYU's gymnastics team had a stellar season so far, with the record including 6 first place, 4 second place, and 1 third place finish. Their last event will be the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference Championships today at 6 p.m. in the Marriott Center. Coach Young is calling this group his strongest squad ever. They will be competing tonight against Utah State, SUU, and Boise State.
BYU men's volleyball continues to kill the competition thanks in part to the excellent play from Davide Gardini. But just like his name, his story of how he came to BYU is unique. Sportsline reporter Nathan Israelson sat down with Davide to hear his story.
From the countryside of Italy to the mountains of Utah, El Padrino brings more to BYU than a great swing.
Talk about MVP, like value? Yeah. That's the MVP of college volleyball. Ace for Gardini.
For me, it's like getting a good ace, like by the end of the set, you know, in a hot moment. Like that's the best feeling for me because, you know, the crowd goes crazy, so it's just like huge.
Gardini is the latest of the freshman sensations that have taken BYU volleyball by storm. But unlike the other phenoms that have come and gone, Gardini is the first Italian player to come through BYU's ranks and is the son of Italian volleyball legend Andrea Gardini.
I was playing in Italy and I was with my national team. We played a tournament, and after that tournament, like BYU contacted me, and I just heard about BYU. I felt like this was like the place, you know, to come. Like volleyball here is like a huge thing, and I just felt like that was the best place for me to come, no matter what. Like, you know, it's just probably like a different kind of college, but I liked it, so that's why.
Or was it?
I guess.
Davide continues his excellent career on the swing that sets him apart from the rest.
Sure. I would say like hitting, like swinging probably. It's not a matter of like swinging hard, but it's more about like choosing like where to swing on the course.
But there is one big difference between Provo and Italy that Davide misses more than anything.
Oh, I miss food. Food is, I mean, I can find good food here, but like for sure I miss food.
If you swing by the Smith Fieldhouse tonight at 7, you can catch Davide and the Cougars in action against the McKendree Bearcats. Back to you guys.
The NFL will pay less than $10 million to Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reid in response to the lawsuit the players filed against the NFL last year. Much of the settlement will cover the fees of lawyers that represented the players, with the players themselves receiving smaller, equal amounts.
The Salt Lake Stallions beat the Memphis Express 22-9 last week. Former BYU Cougar Jordan Leslie had 3 catches for 21 yards. The win advances the Stallions' record to 2-4, and they take on San Antonio next week. The Commanders are 4-2 and leading their division. The Stallions are last in their division right now.
Former Green Bay Packer Clay Matthews is now a Los Angeles Ram. Matthews is from Southern California and has a house close to the Rams' practice facility. He played for the Packers for 10 years and signed a 2-year, $16.75 million contract with Los Angeles. Quarterback Dwayne Haskins impressed NFL scouts this week at Ohio State's Pro Day, upping his chances to go higher in the draft. Many scouts left Haskins' Pro Day, saying that his performance was even better than Heisman Trophy winner Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray. We will see how it all shakes out for Haskins and Murray when the NFL draft takes place on April 25th.
Buffalo Bills offensive lineman Jeremiah Sirleus and Spencer Long organized a dinner in Nebraska on Thursday to provide relief to those affected by the Colfax County floods. The meal fed families in need and offered groceries to those affected by the flooding. Local stores also stepped in and offered assistance in the dinner. The U.S. men's national soccer team beat Ecuador 1-0 in yesterday's international friendly. The goal came in the 81st minute from a Yassi Zardes goal. The shot deflected off Ecuador defender Arbleda's foot and looped over the keeper, clipping off the crossbar and into the goal for the win.
We'll show you this week's top plays and why this NCAA tournament is such a slam dunk.
Truth is, I'm impressed. I haven't been asked such intelligent questions in a long time. Nice.
These are cool. Did you, what did
What?
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
It's that time where we look at the top sports plays of the week. Coming in at number 3 is Northeastern. The Huskies took on Kansas in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And while they fell 87-53, they did have this nice team play that ended in Anthony Green receiving a pass mid-air and putting it down.
Keeping up with the March Madness for our number 2 pick, John Morant of Murray State. Morant led his number 12-seeded team to an upset victory over number 5-seeded team Marquette with a triple-double, including this great dunk. Morant had 17 points, 16 assists, and 11 rebounds, the first March Madness triple-double since Draymond Green for Michigan State in 2012.
This week's number 1 play goes to BYU Baseball's very own Jaron Hall. The dual-sport athlete, who also plays quarterback for BYU football, hit what would be the winning single in the 10th inning on Tuesday against UVU. The Cougars won the game 14-13.
Now it is time for this week's matchups. We have the only local team left in the NCAA, Utah State, playing Washington tonight. Guys, who do you have in this game?
I got the UW Huskies. Might be showing a little bit of West Coast bias, but I believe they're the better team. They're going to win.
No, I think Utah's going to win. Utah State, they're on a really good winning streak right now, so I'm just putting my vote in with them. What about you, Nathan?
Michaela's right on the dot again. Utah State should win this game. Mountain West Player of the Year, Sam Merrill. He's playing at a really high level right now. The Aggies got some serious momentum. I got the Aggies. I just do.
Okay, I think Utah State's going to win too. I think, first of all, Pac-12 basketball is overrated. Washington lost to Oregon in the finals, so there's that. And then Sam Merrill is a great player, and their coach is doing great this year. So Aggies all the way.
Those are fighting words.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, and who do you guys have for the rest of the tournament? Any upsets? Who do you have winning it all?
Well, my sleeper teams are Oregon and Iowa State. They both won their conference tournaments when they weren't predicted to. I think they got the momentum. They'll go to the Elite Eight.
Okay. You know, I'm just going to stay in my safety net. I always choose Duke. I think Duke's going to win it all. I also have North Carolina pretty high up there, so those are my two big ones.
Watch out for the Auburn Tigers, War Eagle.
Auburn.
They're going to surprise some people. Yep. They surprised me by almost losing the first round, but I think they're going to get it.
Okay, and I have Duke, not because I like Duke, but I think Zion will carry him all the way.
Boo.
And now here are our BYU sports reminders for the rest of this week. Men's volleyball faces off against McKendree tonight at 7 p.m. Women's soccer plays against Arizona State tomorrow at noon. Women's basketball plays their first game of the NCAA tournament against Auburn tomorrow at 1:30, and BYU baseball has 2 games this weekend.
That's Sportsline for Friday, March 22nd.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and go Cougars.